okay? I need a win. Big time. My fingers tap a nervous rhythm against the worn green felt. The only sound in the sudden hush that's fallen over the high rollers table. Sweat slicks my palms despite the air conditioning's arctic blast. Across from me, Duchess Petrova's eyes glint like polished obsidian under the chandelier's harsh glare. Her perfectly coiffed blonde hair practically has its own zip code. I bluff, pushing a stack of chips into the pot. All in. Silence. Duchess Petrova raises an eyebrow, the movement as slow and deliberate as a predator assessing its prey. The tension in the room is thicker than the smoke from the fat Cuban clenched in her crimson lips. Finally, with a sigh that rustles like silk, she folds. Relief washes over me fleeting. I can't afford to savor it, not tonight. Another flash of the storm. Lightning cracks across the inky sky outside the casino's panoramic windows, momentarily illuminating the faces around the table, etched with a mix of anticipation and apprehension. The rumors are swirling, whispers of a perfect storm brewing in the Atlantic. My gut clenches. I've seen my share of bad weather at sea, but something about this one feels different, eerie even. Suddenly, the lights flicker, plunging the room into momentary darkness. Gasps and nervous laughter erupt. Duchess Petrova slams her fist on the table. What the hell is going on? A harried voice crackles over the loudspeaker. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We're experiencing a temporary power outage. Rest assured, our engineers are working diligently to resolve the issue. The lights flicker back on, revealing a tense scene. I glance around, catching the fleeting flicker of fear in people's eyes. It's contagious. It reminds me of my brother, Michael, his laughter echoing in the cabin as the storm raged outside. Then silence. He vanished that night, swallowed by the sea, leaving only an emptiness that haunts me to this day. Just as I'm about to push back from the table, I spot Captain Thorne, the ship's grizzled commander, slip out of a side door, curiosity piqued. I follow him, my gambler's instincts tingling. The deserted smoking room is shrouded in a haze of cigar smoke. In a dimly lit corner, Thorne huddles with a man whose face is obscured by shadows. The cargo. Are you sure it's secure? Thorne's voice is low, laced with a hint of desperation. The other man scoffs. Relax, Captain. My people are professionals. No one will suspect a thing. Cargo? My mind races. What cargo? What are they talking about? A shiver runs down my spine. This whole thing reeks of something creepy, but I'm in too deep. My gambling debts have a way of doing that. I slink back to the table, the unease gnawing at my gut like a hungry rat. The game continues, but the taste of victory feels hollow. This ship is sailing into a storm far more dangerous than any weather system, and I have a sinking feeling I'm going down with it. My gut clenches tighter than a losing hand. The captain and that shady figure vanished faster than aces high. I gotta check out his quarters, maybe find something to back up my hunch. The storm howls outside, mimicking the unease churning in my stomach. The hallway's deserted, plunged into near darkness by the flickering emergency lights. Every creak of the ship sounds amplified, like whispers from a restless ghost. Reaching the captain's cabin, I jiggle the handle. Locked. Great. I glance around, adrenaline pumping. No one in sight. Time to improvise. My fingers land on a forgotten bobby pin in my pocket, a souvenir from a past life, a life before the cards took everything. With shaking hands, I fiddle with the lock, cursing under my breath. Click. The door swings open, revealing a Spartan room, not what I expected from a high-rolling captain. But then again, appearances can be deceiving, just like a poker face. I scan the room, eyes adjusting to the dim light. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just a desk, a bunk, a worn sea chart hanging on the wall. Then a glint catches my eye. A hidden compartment behind a framed picture. Bingo! My heart hammers against my ribs as I pry open the compartment. Papers, logbooks, and what the hell is this? A sleek metal case, the size of my palm, with blinking lights and an unfamiliar symbol etched on its surface. Not good vibes. I flip through the logbooks, searching for anything suspicious. Dates, coordinates, cryptic messages. None of it makes sense. But there's one recurring phrase. Project. Siren's Song. A shiver runs down my spine. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream rips through the hallway, shattering the tense silence. My blood runs cold. What the hell was that? Dr. Walsh? I shout, my voice barely audible over the howling wind. No answer, just the eerie moan of the ship battling the storm. Panic claws at my throat. I shove the metal case into my pocket, adrenaline overriding my fear. I need to find Dr. Walsh, and fast. This whole ship feels like it's about to sink, not just from the storm, but from something far more sinister. I burst into the infirmary, the sterile scent of disinfectant clashing with the metallic tang of fear in my throat. Dr. Walsh, usually unflappable, looks pale and drawn, her brow furrowed in worry. Doc, what happened? I gasp, heart pounding. Patience. Acting strange, she mutters, her voice raspy, feverish, paranoid. Talking. Nonsense. A shiver crawls down my spine. Like what kind of nonsense? Whispers, she whispers, her eyes darting nervously around the room. About voices in the walls. Suddenly, a blood-curdling shriek echoes through the hallway, followed by the sound of crashing furniture. We exchange a panicked look. We need to get out of here, I say, grabbing her arm. No, she argues, her voice shaking. I need to find the source of this illness. Later, Doc? I drag her out of the infirmary, navigating the creaking hallway, the floor slick with spilled fluids. The screams are getting closer, mixed with an unsettling muttering. We reach the grand staircase, but our path is blocked by a crazed passenger, eyes vacant, face contorted in a grotesque grin. He lunges towards us, spouting incoherent threats. Go! Dr. Walsh shoves me, her voice a desperate plea. Find Captain Thorne. He has to know what's happening. I hesitate, torn between escaping and leaving her behind, but her unwavering gaze holds me captive. With a heavy heart, I turn and sprint down the hallway, the crazed passenger's enraged screams echoing in my ears. The metallic case in my pocket feels like a burning ember, a constant reminder of the captain's dark secret and the growing unease within the ship. This isn't just a storm we're battling anymore. This is a nightmare, and I fear the worst is yet to come. Thorne's quarters are a mess, ransacked like a hurricane hit. Papers litter the floor, furniture overturned. No sign of the captain, just an eerie silence punctuated by the distant moans of the infected passengers. But something else catches my eye. A hidden panel in the wall, barely noticeable. My heart races. This must be it, the source of the whole damn mess. With trembling hands, I pry open the panel, revealing a small, sterile room humming with an unnatural glow. In the center, a machine pulsates rhythmically, tubes snaking out, connected to vials filled with a swirling silver liquid. Nanobots. The metal case in my pocket feels like a ton of bricks. This is exactly what I feared. Suddenly, the door bursts open. Thorn, his face a mask of fury, storms in, a gun pointed at my chest. "What do you think you're doing?" he snarls, his voice laced with a dangerous edge. "You son of a..." I rage, but he cuts me off. "Saving the world," he scoffs. "These nanobots are the future. A new era of peace and harmony under my control." He steps closer, his eyes glinting with a manic glint. "And you, gambler, will be the first to witness the dawn of a new world order." I clench my fists, my mind racing. I have to stop him, but how? My eyes dart around the room, landing on the vials. "You wouldn't dare," I bluff, voice shaking. "Those things are unstable. They could kill everyone." He pauses, a flicker of doubt crossing his face. "Buy time, Mark. Think. There's an antidote." I lie, hoping to hell it's true. "Dr. Walsh is working on it. We can stop this together." He hesitates, his finger hovering over the trigger. Then a blood-curdling scream rips through the corridor. A look of pure, unadulterated rage contorts his face. "Enough," he roars, lunging towards me. We grapple, the gun clattering to the floor. He's stronger, but I'm fueled by desperation. With a surge of adrenaline, I shove him towards the pulsating machine. He stumbles, his hand brushing against a tube. It disconnects with a hiss, the silver liquid spraying across him. He screams, a high-pitched shriek that chills me to the bone. As I watch in horror, his body convulses, his skin morphing into a grotesque parody of itself. Then, silence. He slumps to the floor, a lifeless husk. I stare at him, the weight of what just happened crashing down on me. My victory feels hollow, tainted by the grotesque scene before me. But there's no time to mourn. I grab the metal case containing the stolen vial of the nanobot Dr. Walsh might be able to use to reverse the damage. With a heavy heart, I race out of the captain's quarters, leaving the room of horrors behind. The fight isn't over, not by a long shot. The hallway is a war zone. Infected passengers roam like mindless zombies, their eyes vacant, their moans a symphony of despair. I dodge and weave, the stolen vial clutched tightly in my hand. Reaching the infirmary, I burst through the door, praying to find Dr. Walsh alive. The room is trashed, medical equipment scattered across the floor. There she is, huddled in a corner, a makeshift barricade of furniture surrounding her. "Doc!" I yell, relief washing over me. She looks up, her face streaked with tears and grime. "Mark, you're alive." "Barely," I gasp, catching my breath. "I got the vial. Is it enough?" She snatches the vial, her eyes scanning its contents. "Maybe, maybe not. It's our only hope." We work together, barricading the infirmary door with whatever we can find. The moans outside are getting louder, closer. "There's an escape pod in the cargo bay," Dr. Walsh says, her voice trembling. "What about the others?" I ask, a knot forming in my stomach. She shakes her head, her eyes filled with sadness. "There's no time. We have to save ourselves. Find a way to stop this, or at least warn the world." Tears sting my eyes, but I force them back. Arguing won't help. We grab whatever supplies we can find, shoving them into a backpack. Every second feels like an eternity. Reaching the cargo bay, the metallic clang of the emergency alarm echoes all around. We fight our way through the infected, their cold, dead eyes burning into my soul. The escape pod glints in the dim light, a beacon of hope in a sea of despair. We scramble inside, slamming the hatch shut just as a horde of infected crashes against the metal door. With a jolt and a roar, the pod detaches from the ship, hurtling away into the raging storm. I glance back at the Grand Duchess, a lone silhouette against the tumultuous sea. The lights flicker erratically, like a dying heartbeat, then darkness. We drift, suspended in a void of uncertainty. The nightmare may be over for us, but the world outside remains at risk. The vial in my hand feels heavy, a constant reminder of the burden we carry, the weight of the unknown future. Did we escape in time? Did the nanobots reach the mainland? And what horrors await us in the world beyond the storm? As I drift into an uneasy sleep, these questions linger, unanswered, chilling me to the core.